Hey guys, welcome back. Look, I want to talk about the movie Troy. Yeah, most people seen this movie. Only reason why I'm talking about this movie, I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but the whole movie, the whole Trojan War was because of a woman's choice. Because a lot of people argue, people should be able to make their choices, but is it okay to make a choice that's destructive to mankind? That's what I'm talking about. And even right now, like if you talk about the court system, they always get a child to the mother, even though they know fathers are getting better results. I'm guessing it feels good to give mother custody. And if you really think about it on a biological level, a child actually comes from the father, not the mother. The mother holds the child. The mother nurtures the child, which is important too. But the father is the better discipliner. So, yeah, that's what Troy was about. Was man, I mean, it was, I don't know all the names like that, but it was two warriors, two princes actually, that visited another land, and I believe the younger prince fell in love with a woman he wasn't supposed to fall in love with, was having sex with a woman he wasn't supposed to have sex with. And back in them times, yeah, that was total disrespect, but because that's not something men did. That's not something honorable men did. But you gotta understand, his upbringing is really one of the reasons why he was a weak man. That's what a weak man does. A weak man will go after your lady. So, yeah, he's doing all this kind of stuff, and they decide to take her to their kingdom. That's where all the trouble came, because really they could have just gave her back, apologized. I mean, it would have cost them something. Somebody would have had to pay, but instead they decided to fight for the girl. So a man that didn't deserve that woman get to keep her. A woman that didn't deserve that man, because we cannot justify who belongs where, what belongs to what. Like, I think people really believe a lot of women should be able to make all the choices they want, even if it will take a whole kingdom down. That's my whole point of talking about this movie, Troy. So, yeah, they went to war, they came to their land, and that kingdom had a lot of power. So they brought all their kingdoms. Even though Troy was known as a kingdom that was undefeated, nobody could defeat them, so they had to outsmart them. And I mean, I'm not going to give away too much of the movie, but in the end, it wound up destroying their entire kingdom for one woman. I mean, that story alone should tell you the dangers of women choices. I know we're defensive of women choices, but are you willing to fall for women choices? That's my whole point of this whole video. Like, yeah, I would love for people to leave some comments. I want to know, are you willing to fall for women choices? This is for men and women. Because if we really start thinking about it, women choices are poor choices. I mean, you can argue all day. That they should have their own choices and they should be able to choose, but it's always been a father's job. And once you start looking at that 80% of all children being raised by single mothers, that's your answer that women should not be able to make choices. Even if you start thinking about it, a lot of women know if you deal with a man, let's say you're with him, you don't even got to be married. Y'all have children together, and a woman decide to leave because she's not happy no more. Not only do the man suffer, the children are going to suffer too, whether she take them or not. Even though fathers get better results, it's still better with the mother and father. So women choices is destructive to everybody. I think women should start thinking about this also. Like, I'm about to do this other video that I seen recently where a guy was talking about his what his plans is for his sons, because men are starting to open their eyes. Like, we have to make choices for our children. We have to do it while they're young. We have to get them married while they're young. I suggest men need to start building relationships with other men. I'm talking about, let's say you got a neighbor, he got a couple boys, you got a couple girls. Listen, I'm talking about decent men. We need to start communicating with these men. Hey, build a bond with them, because these are our children are going to be the future. The only way we're going to be able to mold our children into good adults is put them in good situations. Because if you married your son, let's just say you married your son off with maybe your neighbor. It don't gotta be your neighbor, but somebody you trust, somebody you deal with, somebody you hang out with. And when they get married, y'all hold those kids accountable. Like, we got to make sure we're doing our part. We don't just marry kids off, let them get married, and then let them do whatever. No, this is our future. One day, these children are going to have our grandchildren. So we need to be accountable. And most of the time, as long as you're raising your son right, he's going to be the right one, because he's going to be the leader. So we have to hold our daughter accountable if he's trying to do certain things, because a lot of women will think they know better than the man. But nobody's vouching for the man. Women will think that their decision is better, but we know their decisions are bad. This is nothing against women, but they were never meant to make these kind of decisions, because at the end of the day, guess who got to go to war? We have to fight for it. Women should not be able to make no choices if they're not going to go to war for their choices. Men always go to war for other women's choices. Because like I said, that's what destroyed Troy, a woman's choice. Yes, because that man, he didn't force himself on her. She allowed it to happen, and it destroyed an entire empire. And I believe in the end, she got killed too. So she went down with the ship. Women in general do not care. Long as they can live in their happiness and their choices, even if it took the world to the ground, they don't care. Just like the situation with their kids. Women will leave their marriage knowing their children are going to suffer. And the first thing they'll tell you is talk about their happiness. Nobody else matters. So if nobody else matters, why do we allow them to make choices that will affect an entire country? Because right now, all you got to do is just watch. Yeah, the men are going to move the same way the women are moving. If women are wild and having sex like animals, men going to follow, because men, we have needs. And men going to do whatever it takes. So if women start being decent, men will start being decent. So we got to start from the root and get our daughters right. Get them in marriages. Meet with your neighbors or somebody you trust. I wouldn't suggest no family or nothing, because I've been hearing people talking about cousins and all that. I don't think that's a good idea. First of all, on a biological level, it's not a good idea to have children when your genes are too close together. I would just avoid family. But there's plenty of people out here that are decent. Especially, let's just say you go to church with somebody. Oh, yeah, that's even better. Y'all have the same belief. Because I believe if you go to church, yeah, That would be a good idea. Even in Islam, if you're a Muslim, yeah, you need to meet a God. Like, we need to go back to the old times. That's the only way we're going to fix our problems. And I'm telling you, like I said, I knew a guy that got married at 18 and they still together. They have a very peaceful, happy marriage. The kids are happy. Kids are successful, doing good things. And I suggested to him that he do the same thing with his kids. Because it worked for you, why wouldn't it work for them? See, we think we could just throw our kids into the world and they're going to be fine. But that's far from the truth. If we don't prepare them for relationships, they're going to do what everybody else is doing. Nothing. Men are going overseas because they see it's a failure here. But the real problem, if you're a father, that should be detrimental to you. That should be scary to you to know your daughter will never have a good husband. But we got men over here telling men, we're lying to men, telling them they're wrong for leaving. But if you ain't got nothing to offer them, keep your mouth shut. Like, you have no reason to debate what people are doing. Every man deserves to have a happy life. To have a good life. It ain't even about being happy. To have a woman that will submit to him. A woman that will bring peace to him. But we keep talking about this equal rights. That's not... Both sides are unhappy. So what's the point of equal rights? Like, women have less rights than they had... Let's go back to like the 50s and 60s. They got less rights than they had then. Yeah, on paper you got rights. But all our women are raising children by themselves. They're unprotected. The children are undisciplined. Like, are we really willing to sacrifice all that just so women can have their own rights? All that does is separate us anyway. You got your rights, I got my rights. So women are saying, I don't need you. Like, we done broke the system. And it feels good to say we are giving women rights. But what comes with that is you're unprotected. I don't need to protect you no more. You're a regular citizen now. There is no sex. There is no gender. It's just American. You're American. Nothing else. You don't get protection for that. But yeah, we need to bring things back to the old ways. But yeah, that's all I got, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe.